Hey, it's Truck and Tank Yanker, and I want to make a comparison video on the age-old question between creamy or chunky peanut butter. Now, here I am in the cab of my truck, so this is going to be intellectual, psychological comparison. Stay tuned.
Breaker, this is the Truck and Tanker Yanker. I'm 10-8 with my 10 in the wind. My heaters are glowing, my manners are showing. Wind her up, let her go, come on. I'm your travel agent with a story to tell. Let's go for a ride.
All right, I'm back. The age-old question, creamy or chunky? Now, when I think of just a basic comparison on that, my first driving job, my truck driving job in 1985, was hauling roofing. And one of the things that we had to do when I hauled roofing was put it on roofs. Now, later, a couple years after that, I hauled roofing, but I just hauled it to warehouses. But in this particular case, I was hauling roofing to people's houses and then putting it on their roofs so that somebody could roof it. And so I spent a lot of time walking on people's roofs. And the one thing I knew about walking on roofs, if you were thinking the difference between smooth and chunky, I wanted a chunky roof, not a smooth roof. And the reason why is I got more traction. I slipped and fallen off of smooth roofs. I've tripped and fallen off of chunky roofs, but it had more to do with my own feet than it had to do with the roof. But the steeper the roof, the chunkier I wanted the asphalt on the roof. I'm just saying. So when you think about it from that direction, I was on like a 412 pitch, which is not much of a pitch. It is like this, kind of a house. But it was a frosty morning, and there was frost all over the roof. And I was up there running as fast as I could, hauling bundles of roofing and running. It was a big house. It was probably about 22 squares that I had to put up there, plus. And I was running clear around. It was a U-shaped house. There was, our garage went that way, main part of the house, and living room came out that. It was just like a U-shape, and so I had to run all the way around the U to put over there and run all the way back like this. So I was running like crazy on a slippery roof, and my feet went right off underneath me because it slipped on the smooth, and I slid off of the roof. I mean, normally if it would have been dry, I wouldn't have slid. I just fallen. It was been plywood. I would have just fallen and stopped right there. It was new construction, by the way. But since it was frosty and smooth, I hit the roof and just slid off the edge like a magic carpet ride, and I hit the ground right next to the plate glass window that was supposed to go in the living room. And since it was a nice big new construction house, they spent money on their window, and it was a big window, and I lit on the ground. Fortunately, I didn't go through the window that was leaning up against on the inside there, because it was the U-shape. I slid off into the U-shape where the entryway would have been, and the window was leaning up right against the side there before the guy, whoever was going to hang the window, put it in. I hit the ground right next to the window, and that window, I hit the ground hard enough, apparently, that the window just tipped over like that, crash into 1,000, probably more than 1,000 pieces. A lot of pieces anyway. There was a lot of pieces of window everywhere, but it didn't fall on me, so that was a good thing. And that's because of smooth peanut butter. I'm telling you that I could have been killed because of that smooth peanut butter type roof. And and that's the kind of thing I think about when I'm making a sandwich. If I'm making a sandwich, I want to make sure that I won't be killed when I'm eating my sandwich. I want to make sure there's plenty of traction for my throat to grip the peanut butter and push it on down, as opposed to getting stuck somewhere in the middle because it's just slimy and smooth. So the major difference between smooth and chunky peanut butter has a lot to do with choking you to death. And you're better off taking your chances with the chunky peanut butter than you are with the smooth peanut butter. Now, if you really want to decrease your chances of dying by choking to death on smooth peanut butter, you put a lot of homemade strawberry jam on the peanut butter, and that will help slide it past your epiglottis and get it down your throat so that it doesn't get stuck and slide off the edge of the roof, so to speak. And that'll you know, if you're thinking, well, it ought to slide on down your throat, it's like, no, your throat's like your feet. It's got traction down there. You ever seen like a vacuum cleaner hose? And so the vacuum cleaner hose somehow does this on the way it gets your food to push down. You ever had trying to get down a large chunk of sandwich you just ate too big a bite of, and it's like, you know, and you can feel it constricting like a boa constrictor. Your throat works like a boa constrictor and just kind of pushes your food down like that. If you can't get a grip on your food, it just stays there stuck, and you could choke out right there, you know. And on creamy peanut butter, so lots of strawberry jam, that helps get the peanut butter down. And even another thing, I really enjoy this. Now, you have to take Wonderful Bread. You all know what Wonderful Bread is, right? Wonder Bread. You take Wonderful Bread, and then you put your chunky peanut butter on one side of your Wonderful Bread, and then you take real maple syrup, and then you pour it slowly in the middle on the other side, and then you spread it around with your knife. Peek on the bottom to see if it's soaked through yet. No, it hasn't soaked through yet. Pour more on until it starts soaking. And then once you see the dark spots on the other side where the syrup is soaking through finally, then you got enough syrup on there. Then you have to you know, and you have to be careful because you're going to drip syrup everywhere. You put that back on top of the chunky peanut butter side, and then and eat it like that. Oh yeah, that syrup just helps everything go down. It gives you all the kinds of lubrication. You got a real mixture of lubrication and chunky chunks, so your throat gets a grip on it. So it's got it all lubed up, and get a grip on it and shove her down. That's the way your throat works. Yep. And so that's the major differences I see between the creamy and the chunky peanut butter. And then there's a nice pleasant side effect to the chunky peanut butter, and that is it crunches while you're eating it. That's really nice. Your creamy don't crunch while you're eating it. I mean, who doesn't like a good crunch while they're eating? Except for if you're eating a piece of chicken and you hit a crunch in the chicken, that's not very good either. They're about to make you choke thinking about that. I'm just saying. But when it comes to peanut butter, it's a nice crunch. Yeah, it's kind of like, think of Nestle's Crunch. They made a candy bar out of Crunch. There you go. So you know Crunch is good, so crunchy must be better. If it's Crunch is good, crunchy is better. There you go. And, you know, it just stands to reason, and when you look at it in a logical fashion like that, I'm sure you'll agree with me. Crunchy peanut butter is best. It has so many more advantages than creamy peanut butter. I'm just saying. So I just want you to subscribe. Tell your friends about this channel. I want you to keep the shiny side up, dirty side down. I'd like for you to look on past your hood ornament, down the road a little ways ahead of you. And I want you to not be a bumper sticker, because that's a good way to get into a wreck. I'm just saying. And it's not professional. And when you're in a wreck and you're the cause of the wreck, it makes you look like an idiot, much less unprofessional. I mean, it's like, how about an unprofessional idiot? How about that for combination? Yep, there you go. Dark and Tanker Yanker, I'm gone.